Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog and a Handshake Pro Wrestling Show Classic Review Series. I am Shane Price, joined by Jayden Ginsweider here for a little detour, roundabout, weird kind of way trip to the Impact Zone.
Yep, on our road to WrestleMania.
We took the wrong exit. Got off in Orlando. Said, shit.
Yep.
So we're here for Final Resolution 2006. The show in January was a show.
January 15th, 06, 900 people in Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. We got Don West and Mike Tenay on the call. This show is on YouTube in full, 2 hours and 52 minutes. And Shane, why are we reviewing this show?
Because for some reason, this is the Tanahashi's first American match, which is crazy.
This is his first televised match.
Oh, okay.
He wrestled Jimmy Ambrose at NJPW Inoki Dojo Tucon in Santa Monica on June 21st, 2003. So I'm guessing this was some sort of Young Lion showcase he was involved in. Because this was before his CML. That was before his CMLL excursion.
I don't know, but those Inoki Dojo matches are interesting. I've been trying to find them because I know Super Kendo was involved in those. Of
course. But yeah, this is Tanahashi's first televised match in America. He's about to wrestle his last match in America at Windy City Riot against Konosuke Takeshita. My first note on this show is 2006 Jeff Jarrett is quite a look.
It was.
It's an interesting outfit and facial hair situation he had going on.
I wish I knew. I wish I could explain what Jeff Jarrett was going through here, but I really
just go watch the first 30 seconds of this because it opens with like a promo that him and Monty Brown were cutting, like a promo package, but like it starts with him and Monty Brown, and it's interesting. It's a weird time.
Yeah. Well, but it is just Jeff Jarrett, so
yep.
I mean, whatever. So the first televised on the review match that we got was Alex Shelley, Austin Aries, and Roderick Strong versus Chris Sabin, Sanjay Dutt, and Matt Bentley.
Love Roderick Strong just randomly being here.
Yeah, I don't know why he's here. He wasn't
really a TNA guy.
Yeah.
He just randomly made a few appearances. Machine Gun versus Machine Gun to start the match. Sabin and Shelley started for their respective teams.
Also, like to point out that Matt Bentley is Michael Shane, Shawn Michaels' cousin.
Yep. They were really trying to get him over.
They tried so hard.
He had like a dance and like a valet.
So hard.
Who was with him? Was it Tracy Brooks?
Yeah.
Yeah, they put Tracy Brooks with him. He had like a wave dance thing. I mean, they were really if they just would have come up with Yeet in 06, he would have been over. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on the match?
I thought it was a pretty good match, even though they tried so hard to get Matt Bentley over and didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't go wrong with the Machine Guns, Sanjay Dutt, and Roderick Strong at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I gave it a 3.5.
I thought it was a pretty fun opener, but ultimately not super exciting. So I went 2 3/4. I was a little down on it compared to you.
Off.
But
we usually are TNA.
Yeah, yeah.
Not for this next match. I'm gonna not this next.
If you can call it that.
This next match is something. The James Gain, BG Road Dogg, Jesse James, and Kip James.
For purposes of this review, I will be calling them Road Dogg and Billy Gunn.
You're not going to call him Cute Kip?
No.
Or Daddy Ass?
Yeah, no.
Well, they took on Diamonds in the Rough, which was led by Simon Diamond.
Yeah, but actually in the match.
But in the match was Eli Skipper and David Young, best known for being in 0-1 and NWA Wildside, so not much.
Mm. Eli Skipper, best known for the
cage dump, yeah. Or WCW.
So at the beginning of this, they do like a sort of different version of the old New Age Outlaws.
They did. They
Ladies and
did
gentlemen,
it.
boys and
We don't own the trademark for this, so we're gonna do it as close as we can.
Yeah, and then at the end, he passes it to Billy, and he says, "I have 3 words for you," and he goes, "Get it, got it, good."
That's more than 3 words.
My note here is "Get it, got it, good" is 5 words, William. Which for one, that's 5 words. Also, just not a good catchphrase.
Do you remember when Charles Barkley? Do you ever see the clip of Charles Barkley going, "I got 2 words for you: Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must see TV."
Yeah, I've seen that.
I was thinking that's what that reminded me.
Yeah, me too. This was just
This was
the
not
definition of a mid match.
This was not a good match.
I gave it a 2.5. That's probably generous.
I gave it a 2.
Yeah, it was just so meh. Elix Skipper did a buckshot lariat, which was cool, but nothing else really.
The run of the New Age Outlaws had in TNA needs to be goddamn studied. Because what the fuck?
It needs to be buried.
What the fuck?
We need to collect
dude?
all the tapes, take it off the internet, burn them, bury the ashes. Shane Douglas was an interviewer in TNA.
Yeah, he was.
I had no idea.
I don't know why.
No
but
idea
he
until
was,
this show. They just completely didn't know.
Well, what are your thoughts on your match coming up?
Yeah. Also, he was not looking good in this 6. He was looking rough. I can see why he wasn't in the ring.
That's an understatement, dude.
Yeah.
Can you imagine why he wasn't invited to when you one night? No, he's never gonna be in the Hall of Fame. He's not. He never accept it.
If there was a wrestling Hall of Fame,
yeah, he would
if
be.
This
in there.
Ric Flair act thing pans out, and there's a wrestling
He
Hall
should
of
be
Fame,
in there.
He should be in it. Yeah. So should the next 2 guys in this match.
Those are first ballot guys.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, already at this point in time, was pretty big in TNA. Took on Tanahashi in the middle of the card.
He was 06. He's Mr. X Division, but hasn't quite. Has he had the world title already?
Yes.
Yeah, he's had the world title already. Not established multi-time, huge world champion.
He's still like best of X Division stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point in time, he's still like, if you know TNA, you know who this guy is.
Yeah, he's already Mr. TNA by now.
And if you know WWE, you might know who those guys are even there.
This is first of 6 career singles matches between these two. Assuming that they don't get to have another match this year, Tanahashi wins the feud 4-2. So
good for him.
Good for the ace, who was the U30 champ at this time.
That belt, which I think stopped existing when Tanahashi turned 30. Something like that. I mean, it's all right. His match was pretty good for what it was.
Oh, it was really good. It was pretty
I
good.
feel like I wasn't expecting a little more, but I wasn't disappointed.
One of my notes is just, God, I love AJ's drop kick. I think that's my favorite drop kick of all time. That's so smooth, crisp. Yeah. And then my next note was Scott Hall was in the G1 with like 7 question marks.
Why not?
He wasn't. So TNA mentions that Tanahashi beat Scott Hall in the G1. He beat Scott Hall in the G1 World in 2001, which was different than the G1 Climax. So TNA was just doing that announcer thing where he tries to zhuzh it up. Purposefully leaves out a little bit of information to make it sound cooler than it was.
I think Cody Hall was in the G1. Does that count?
Gross. So this is a pretty good match. I doubt this is as good as any other New Japan matches.
Yeah, probably not.
I feel like maybe I've watched one of those, but I don't remember for sure. I gave it 3 3/4. I gave it a good match.
Yeah, I gave it 3 quarters too. Then Sean Waltman and Raven.
Sean Waltman, who was a surprise, by the way,
in 2006.
Yeah. This was a pretty whatever plunder match. My only real note on it is this was really just Raven wrestling Larry Zbyszko through Sean Waltman, because Raven was feuding with Larry Zbyszko. He was feuding with the management, and that was Larry Zbyszko at the time.
Can I point out that Sean Waltman was a surprise after no showing Unbreakable 05?
That's really funny.
And this was his final night in TNA until he came back with Hall and Nash.
In what year was that?
2010.
2010. That's really funny. Do you have anything on this match?
No, I don't.
What star?
2.
2 3/4. I liked it a little bit more. There was some fun plunder stuff.
There was some fun, but after the last match, man.
Oh yeah, no, it's a real downturn from the last match.
An upturn, thankfully, up next with Bobby Roode with Scott D'Amore on his manager against Ron of Truth Killings.
Mm-hmm.
Our Truth's run in TNA is really good.
Yeah. We got a heel walkaway spot in this.
Good. Add that to the counter.
But we also got a people walking out during matches spot, just people randomly walking in and watching matches. I think Shannon Moore did it in the opener, and then Earl Hebner did it in a couple matches, and now Conan just walked out in the middle to watch this. It's just TNA being TNA, I think.
It's the thing they were trying to do, and Conan didn't bring out Homicide or Hernandez, so they made no sense.
I don't think was Homicide even involved yet, or was it
No,
Hernandez? Only one of them was involved, because it was one of them and a big white guy.
Yeah,
I don't remember if it was Homicide or Hernandez that was there already.
Did he have the bandana?
I don't remember.
If he did, it was Homicide.
Yeah. This was a solid match that I think went too long for where Bobby Roode was ability-wise in 06.
Yeah.
Maybe a few years later, going this length would have been much better, but I went 3 stars.
I gave it 3 1/4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was a solid match. It was a good pay-per-view match. We got a Haas fight next, though.
We do. 2 big dudes. Rhino and a Sinister Minister. And Abyss, of course.
Abyss, yes. Certified sirloin beefsteak match here. What was the storyline here? Rhino was trying to get to the world title, and Jeff Jarrett got Abyss.
Got
Father James Mitchell to put Abyss in the way of Rhino, so this is kind of like a trial he has to go through before he can get to Jarrett.
Something like that. I don't know.
It was a great Haas fight, but nothing incredibly
special. It was good. I would have liked it more if the Sandman didn't get involved with the finish, but of course he did.
Yeah, that dropped it a little bit. I went 3 1/4.
I gave it 3.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on the idea of how many managers there are on the show?
It's just well, I kind of have a note on the next match. So the next match is America's Most Wanted in Team 3D, right?
Right.
And one of my notes is just I love TNA's inability to do a match without shenanigans. And I think that the amount of managers the insane amount of managers you're talking about kind of goes along with that. I think the staple of the TNA style is overbooking.
Yeah.
It's always one or two elements. It's like the booking equivalent of that quote where it's like, before you leave the house, look in the mirror and take one accessory off. Like that kind of fashion quote. It's kind of like that, except for TNA looks in the mirror and adds 2 more accessories.
Yeah.
Like before they leave the house, they look in the mirror and then they add like a cowboy hat and a huge chain.
Yeah.
It's like, this doesn't need to be here.
But
You're going to Target. You know what I mean?
But it is.
So that's kind of what it is. It's just it's one of those things that is annoying and is going to bring down my star ratings, but it's kind of like a fun, lovable quirk of TNA. You know what I mean?
And when they got rid of it, it started to suck.
In a dumb way.
Believe
you
that.
know what I mean? Yeah. Like, even now, think about it. Even their ring is overbooked. They added 2 extra sides.
You know what? Yeah, you're right.
Like,
I didn't even think about that.
That's what they are.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ. All right. Well, the next match is Chris Harris and
James Storm.
America's Most Wanted,
with
Gail Kim as their manager.
Yep. Gail Kim recently released by TNA for inexplicable reasons.
Because the anthem sucks.
Yep.
Taking on Brother Devon and Brother Ray of Team 3D, who are always talking about how crappy AEW is.
Yeah. Love that. Bubba Ray, just a tangent off of what you just said. Bubba Ray is a real big ticket sales and ratings mean quality, which just means that everything he did in his career
sucked,
except for like 2001 or 2099, whenever they showed up in WWE, until like 04, whenever they left. Everything except for that sucked, because this match was in front of a house of 900 people.
Brother, he did the Tokyo Dome. Don't tell him that,
because that's true. But
he did Tokyo Dome.
Most of his career is garbage if you go by ticket sales and ratings and pay-per-view buys.
Yeah.
Because it was ECW and it was TNA. That is primarily where he was. I mean, if you think about it, like, add up the years, he's probably in those 2 companies for 3 times as long as he's in. 4 times maybe even as long as he's in
Most
WWE.
likely.
Plus Ring of Honor. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
too.
at the height of Ring of Honor, or the second height of Ring of Honor, whatever, it's debatable between, kind of the 06 area and kind of the 2016 area, but the second peak of Ring of Honor. Bubba Ray's an idiot. Let's continue. In a shill.
This match was, it was all right, I guess.
Yeah, I think my shenanigans line kind of goes with the fact that the finish was weird, where like Team 3D actually won the match, but the referee was blinded as he was counting the pin. So before he could announce a winner, the America's Most Wanted guys like switched them around so that it looked like the America's Most Wanted pin. I think it was Chris Harris pinned Bubba. So that was a weird finish, but not terrible.
This is somehow not the worst finish involving America's Most Wanted ever.
Yeah.
So
it's not bad. It's just kind of weird, and I guess probably plays into whatever happens at the February pay-per-view.
It must.
I give it 3 1/4 again. I thought it was a pretty good match.
I give it a 3.
This is before Team 3D really kind of starts to fall apart physically. So
yeah, they're not fat asses just yet.
Mm-hmm. Next match.
Samoa Joseph takes on Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, and it's the best match of the night.
Just a note here, at this time, and really probably at any time in any of their careers, any combination of Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and AJ Styles is gonna be one of, if not the best match of the night. It's gonna be a banger every time. I wrote, no look throwing a chair in the ring and almost hitting the ref is so awesome. And then this was just a really good match. Like I said, Joe and Daniels and AJ, for that matter, just had such insane chemistry. It was ridiculous. Thoughts on this match?
I thought it was pretty good. It was the match of the night for me.
Oh, match night for me too.
I gave it 4.5.
Same. I also gave it 4.5.
I thought a pin or a submission would have been cooler, but sometimes a knockout is just what you need.
Yep, absolutely. I love a good knockout finish. When it's done right, it's pretty awesome.
And then the most loaded TNA match we've ever watched, the most stacked match by talent.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Cage, Sting, Jeff Jarrett, and Monty Brown with Yoakum as manager.
Yep. So Jarrett and Brown versus Cage and Sting. Someone had a sign in the crowd that just says Sting rules, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Like, that's just perfect. Yeah. Spot I loved in this match, Jeff Jarrett and Monty Brown went to hit Christian with a standing concerto. They went to do it while he was still standing.
Because why not?
And then he ducks it, and they like slam their chairs into each other, which was always a fun spot when two heels like slam their chairs into each other, and then it's like their hands hurt from the not reverb. What word am I looking for? But you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of transfer of energy there. And then, of course, Team Canada out there for no reason.
Of course.
Literally no reason at all.
I think the entire team's out there, which means we get to see, get out to see Scott Demore do work.
Yep.
Which is always what you want to see.
This was a pretty great match other than the pointless interference. LOL TNA, I guess. Like, it's just like we were talking about earlier, that's just kind of the quirk of TNA. That's the TNA style. That's what it is. It's total nonstop action. There's always something going on. I mean, I'll throw it back to you. What do you got?
I gave it a 3.5.
I gave it 4.
Okay.
That was a really fun match. It probably would have been closer to Joe and Daniels with just like a real finish.
I feel like the problem with
no interference.
This problem with this show was that all their two best matches were immediately followed by something that was a lot worse.
That just seems like something that probably happened a lot in TNA.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But I still
think about the
like the show.
The lasting impact of TNA, I think, is the X Division, and that was always the middle of the card. You know what I mean? Whenever we think of these great TNA matches, we immediately go to the X Division, and so that was probably almost always followed by something pretty shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just kind of TNA for you.
That's probably, but I still really enjoyed the show, all these considered. But
it was pretty good. Categories?
Sure, let's go with the best moment of the night.
Sting's entrance was really awesome because it was his first time back in TNA.
Boy, you're not gonna give it the X-Pac?
Yeah, no, I'm not, because the fans were really into it. I don't know. Weren't a lot of great just like moments in the show, really. I mean, did you have anything here?
Not really. I guess the knockout.
The knockout finish was pretty good. I did like that. Yeah, I think I'd probably just give it to the Sting entrance. Just the energy in the building when he walked out. MVP of the night.
Sting. No, not Sting. I'll give it to Joe.
I mean, the whole show is built around the return of Sting, so I could
Yeah.
understand. And he did put on a great performance. But I think personally, Joe was just the best that night. That's who I'd give it to. Heat check.
I'm going to give it to...
Kind of a tough one.
Yeah. I want to say... Because by like the match times here.
Could give it to Go Kim.
She's only a lot, though.
She doesn't really do anything. No, I was just kidding. Scott D'Amore kind of got involved in some stuff. Conan had some promo work and some...
I'm going to say... I'm going to say...
What's the shortest match?
The James Gain Skipper Young match.
Yeah. Zabisco, maybe?
I guess let's go with X-Pac.
Go with X-Pac.
Yeah,
Let's go with X-Pac.
yeah, a little bit of a pop.
There you go, X-Pac.
We'll give you something. You're welcome.
Apex Mountain.
This is not everything in there.
Monty Brown.
No.
Christopher Daniels.
No.
Maybe this era. Maybe like the 05.
The era.
Kind
Both
of
of them. Yeah.
Not really anything.
No. Same introduction. Gonna skip past that too.
Surprise of the show.
Can you also give us the X-Pac? Because I didn't know that was a surprise.
It's funny that it was a surprise. Yeah, I think we can give that to X-Pac. Recasting. Do you want to recast Joe Daniels or the main event?
Let's do Joe Daniels.
I feel like the main event would kind of be more fun.
Okay, so let's do the main event then.
Who is Jeff Jarrett right now?
Jeff Jarrett.
I'm thinking past his prime, has a world title.
Is the booker.
Well, for the current day, I was thinking maybe isn't the booker, but probably has quite a bit of power. I was thinking maybe our Ring of Honor champion, Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
Who might not be Ring of Honor champion by the time this comes out.
Hopefully.
As we're recording this, he's currently Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with that.
So he's Jericho teaming himself with a young, awesome talent. Is this, keeping it in the learning tree, could this just be Jericho and Brian Keith?
Yeah.
Versus who would be the current Christian Cage? What was Christian Cage in 06?
Underused guy in the other company coming to his new company and being currently used perfectly well.
That sounds exactly like Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet could be perfect for that.
And then a guy
Sting is the legend who's coming for the first real time
in like a few years.
Well, I say the first real time is his first real run.
Okay, because he was just kind of small appearances before.
Yeah.
Who would be a legend you'd want to see? Who kind of has some of the mystique and aura of Sting? Who hasn't been in AEW and could likely, even if they're currently on a Legends contract in WWE, let's not worry about that. Just
right.
Could be over there.
I don't. If it's current, I don't know.
Yeah.
I would have said
who's a
like a 2019 Luke Harper.
Yeah, I'm trying. Who would be a legend with some level of? Maybe we just drop the level of mystique thing. Maybe just try to think of a good legend that would be
legend who has some oomph behind him.
Who would be fitting of an AEW run, but still maybe kind of prime 6-7 years ago. Or maybe, yeah. So not a legend in the sense that they're retired, but somebody who's kind of hit their prime a while ago.
Yeah.
And is it AJ?
Yeah, I guess it's AJ. Yeah.
Could be. I know he's
multiple time world champion.
He's never had an AEW run, but would be great there. Multiple time world champion. I think arguably the peak of AJ was like 7 years ago when he was WWE champion. Maybe he was the IWGP champion a couple years before that. and I think you can kind of make arguments for Sting based on it. So I think if this is AJ and Ricochet versus Chris Jericho and Brian Keith, which is a crazy match that we've put together. Best double feature? You got anything for this? I mean, obviously the Joe match and Christopher Daniels was just any
literally
AJ,
any
Joe.
Christopher Daniels, AJ and Joe match, if any of that combination ever.
What's the best Tanahashi AJ match in your opinion from New Japan? Maybe we could pair that with this one.
The title one, I think.
The title match.
Yeah.
Was that?
I think it's AJ's debut.
AJ's New Japan debut.
I think so.
Okay.
I think he beats for the title. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. AJ Styles. Match. World title match. AJ Styles for Hiroshi Tanahashi. So technically his New Japan debut, I think, he was still under TNA contract. He wrestled Tanahashi in 2008. They had a rematch.
You know what I mean.
At Circuit New Japanism. But then his 2014 one at G1 Climax 24 was a non-title match. So he didn't debut against him for the title. October of 2014 at KOPW. Was that maybe the title match? Yeah, that was a title match.
That one.
So their fourth meeting.
That one.
Okay. I got 4.5 from Meltzer. So, I like that. So the AJ Tanahashi match with that one. Anything from this go into the Wrestling Criterion Collection?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Not even close. Classic Hot Tub, Classic Handshake. What do you got?
I don't know.
Really, you don't know?
Oh, I do.
I was like, this is the easiest one we've ever done.
Joe and sorry.
I think the only thing that holds a candle to that is the main event.
Excuse me 1 second. Let me just get my mind together.
Overall show out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 6.5.
6.5. I think it was a 5. Let me see what I wrote down. Yeah, I wrote down a 5. So 5 3/4 overall. Yeah, seems about TNA. About TNA range.
Yeah,
and then just tell them what we got next week.
Next week
we're gonna get back on track.
We are re-entering our road to WrestleMania with the final one we're doing. It's gonna be WrestleMania 21
from 2005.
The
WrestleMania
Wrestling goes Hollywood.
Cena's first world
Cena
title
wins the title. Batista wins the title.
Eddie Ray. Who's Taker face in this one? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
Is it Orton? I think it's Taker Orton.
It might be Orton. Yeah, I think that sounds right. Yeah,
I think it's Taker Orton on this one. So sounds fun. And
who's he facing 22?
22 is Mark Henry.
Okay.
I think it's a casket match.
No, that's Kane.
He might have done both. Pretty sure the Mark Henry one was a casket match. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Take us out.
Anyways, well, if you like TNA, you have more TNA. If you like WWE, that's next week. Other stuff, we have other stuff too. And just enjoy wrestling.